Okay, so I'm not the best at making unscripted videos or anything, but I wanted to really touch on this topic of this game that I recently played. You may or may not have heard of it. It's called Monster Hunter Wilds, and I really just wanted to give my honest opinion on it. I have some notes written down here, and I plan to do all of this in one take, so bear with me. It's going to be like my videos about my devlog progress where I kind of just talk over it. So, first things first, Monster Hunter Wilds is complete fucking garbage. And I don't say that in any way that is supposed to include the earlier titles. I feel like this game in a vacuum is terrible. This is one of the finer examples of what happens when a very large company, a very large studio, focuses on the wrong aspect. And I say wrong in my personal outlook on what the game is supposed to be. So maybe the developers of this game, Capcom, I don't know who the head guy at Capcom is. I'm not that educated on the subject. But I do know one thing is this game, the view of it is not what I would want for any Monster Hunter game, really. I feel like they've been going like slightly more towards story uh, over gameplay. And that's not to say that that's a bad thing if it, started as a story game. But what I mean by this shit sucks in a vacuum, even, is you take this game, you don't look at any of the previous Monster Hunter games, and you go, okay, is this objectively a good game? No. To me, no. In my personal opinion, this shit is awful. So, in the background, you'll see me playing here. And either I'll have it sped up or I won't have it sped up. I don't fucking know what I'll have. But I just want you guys to know that there are auto segments in the game that kind of play and do things for you, auto gathering and auto running and, a lot of just automatic features. So even in the vacuum of this game alone, there's a lot of things in it that are the gameplay, but for some reason they spent their time making an auto feature so that you didn't have to play the game. The part of the gameplay is a mechanic that is there so that you don't have to play the game. So that's my biggest gripe with this one in a vacuum. But if you wanted to really sit down and compare this game to the other previous games, it gets so much fucking worse. I have no idea if this is Capcom's true envision of what Monster Hunter is supposed to be. Obviously, the amount of time it's been over the course of all of the games, the views could have changed, yada yada yada, but I really believe that this is not a Monster Hunter game. This feels like I'm playing fucking like Dauntless or something. I don't know. This game just isn't Monster Hunter. It has the IP. It has the Rathalos and it has the whatever the fuck monster. It's not very memorable, the monsters that I fought, just saying, putting that out there. That's besides the point of any of this that I'm trying to make, but completely unmemorable monsters. So, oh, you're fighting the whatever the fuck, right? You know, the IP is there. The weapons are there, I guess. I'll get on that later. Uh, Let me actually write that down. Anyways, the weapons are there. You have your 14 weapons. And you have the monsters, but that's really it. I mean, the story kind of, from what I've gathered, is just kind of like every other story from every other Monster Hunter game. So I don't really understand why they're trying to focus so much on it when, if you ask me, it was never really the main draw of the entire game. You know, a lot of the draw of the game to me was the gameplay. So what I feel like this is I feel like this game is either marketed towards children or someone with no brain cells. I don't know what the fuck it is, but they have streamlined so many of these processes down to the fucking like minutia of inputs that I really don't feel like these guys really credit any sort of mechanics whatsoever in their games. They've kind of drifted more towards just making everything easier. So easy, in fact, that it draws away from the point of even playing the game. It feels like it almost insults you. And I could give an example of this is why the fuck? So I guess I'm biased that I only play one weapon here. I only really play Hunting Horn, and I've played Hunting Horn in all of the Monster Hunter games. I started with Try. I haven't played anything before Try, but I'll tell you this. On that one weapon alone, there are very many features that have been removed and only a little bit of features that have been added. And like I said, I'm probably biased on this. The only weapons I can really attest to being changed is Hunting Horn. So that's the only way I'll be able to talk about this. Is they removed an entire system, okay? And they continuously make the system of the weapon, which is playing notes, easier and easier and easier with every rendition. Now, if you ask me, a person that has been playing it for a really long time, it already was easy. And my main gripe of this game isn't that they just made everything easier, even though that is pretty bad, all things considered. It's not the end of the world if your game is fun, but it's easy. Problem is, my fun comes from things being hard, yes, but that's besides the point, right? They have just catered to a different audience, I feel is the problem. The audience of people that don't even play the game, which is unfortunate because if you have this many series in your title, why are you, I feel like, making your game towards a different audience instead of the people that have been playing all of your games? It's just kind of weird to me. And that's just one of the things that makes this game fucking garbage, is it's focusing on everything else but the game. So, what else could they focus on? Well, like I keep saying before, it's the story and it's the graphics. And it's all of the features that make the game easy and fun to play. Although these features that they have and these graphics that they have and this amazing storytelling with all of these beautiful curated cutscenes are they don't really amount to anything at the end of the day. You see, when you watch a cutscene, if the cutscene is only there to establish something, or it is only there as a consequence of, well, you can't play through this part of gameplay, so we're showing you what's happening rather than letting you play through it, then that cutscene only becomes as valuable as the first time it is watched. For instance, this gameplay that you see in the back is my second time playing through all of this, so this whole first segment of me not even touching my controller, it's probably already way past that because I have the shit probably sped up. But my point is, you go through all of this shit, right? And it isn't fun no matter how many times you play it, but it also isn't moving storytelling wise no matter how many times you watch it. So it begs the question, what is the game good at? And my answer is nothing. I really don't believe this game is good at anything. It is by far the worst title in the series. And I was thinking that Rise was the worst title in the series, but it's been outdone. Somehow we have scraped the bottom of the barrel even lower than Rise, okay? I was not a big fan of Rise. You can tell I'm not a big fan of Rise. Fuck it. I'm not the biggest fan of any New World Monster Hunter game. And I'll just say it, right? World actually isn't a bad game. In a vacuum, it's not a bad game. It's not my cup of tea, but it's not my game. You know? It's not a bad game. This shit is objectively a bad game. You somehow make the formula of hunting an AI monster where, it throws at a hitbox and you dodge it. And then you throw at your hitbox and it hits it. You somehow take that formula and you just throw so much shit in between the middle of it. You just make it not fun. And I really wish I could give examples, but I mean, you could see from the gameplay in the back, I'm kind of just autopiloting and playing, and it's not very entertaining to say the least. Now, I know these are only two monsters that are in the demo or the beta of this game, but I don't want to fucking hear it. I don't want to hear y'all motherfuckers being like, "Oh, this is only the beta. You can't say bad things. They might change shit." Bitch, they've been making this game for 4 fucking years from what I've heard, right? Now, I know making a game isn't a short process, but my point is they're not going to take this beta and then go, "Oh, well, this shit sucks." Throw it out the window and then make something completely new. No, this is pretty much going to be the next installment of the series. And you know, me being a person that is also working on my own game development, it really begs the question, why would they spend so much time doing everything but making their game fun? You know, what you want to do is you want to take a concept for your game, test it out to see if it's a fun thing to redo over and over, if your gameplay loop is even interesting, and then you build everything on top of that, right? They have just skipped that step, I feel like, because this shit feels exactly the same as it does in the last installment. This shit feels exactly like Rise without the one mechanic that I guess Rise had at the time, which was the fucking wire bug system, right? So it's Rise without the wire bugs, and that's it. That's all I can say about it. There's nothing more to it. It's the same game, and I can't even say it's a new coat of paint because it looks the fucking same. Yeah, sure, we're not in the same area, and sure, we're lore wise a different hunter, and oh, lore wise, we're in a different place and time, or whatever you want to say, but this shit has been stagnant since World. I feel like we just haven't gotten anywhere. There haven't been any new weapons since 4 Ultimate on the fucking 3DS, and that shit, if you ask me, that was the best game, but that's besides the point for you. Uh, all you are buying is a $70 or $60 game, depending on where you buy it. You're buying a game that just has new weapon move sets. The 14 weapons that you know and love, all they do now is have a new move set. They just play slightly differently. Why do we keep paying 70 fucking dollars or $60 or whatever the fuck price it is? Why are we paying any price for just a new weapon move set? That's all it is. It's not even a new coat of paint. It's the exact same shit. Like, worse though. Obviously, like I said, I'm biased and they removed the feature that I liked most from my weapon, which was encores for hunting horn. The encore system isn't really the same, but that's it's a weapon specific problem. I get it's a skill issue. Just play a different weapon if you don't like one, right? But like you have all of these people that play your game that enjoy it, and all you do is you just take the weapons that you have, you change how they play, you make everything the exact fucking same, and people just still buy it. Like I don't I don't understand. This shit is really meaningless when you think about it. Like, oh, this monster is fucking up our village and he's hurting people and shit. Go kill him. And you go kill him, and it's like, oh, actually, it's another monster that's doing all of the bad things. And you're like, okay, let me go kill it. And then you kill it, and they go, oh, you know, I'm glad you killed that one, but, we need you to kill this other thing. And it doesn't go any further than that. So why are you focusing on your story when it's not even good? Like, is if you're gonna write a story, right? At the very least, be good. And I'm not a fucking story writer, I'm not any of that shit. But goddamn, can it at least be moving? Can it at least be captivating? You're trying to make me care about characters in a game that change every fucking game. You've done this shit. I don't know the number of Monster Hunter games that have been out, but you do this shit every fucking game. It's like telling me to care about the story in a game of COD. Like, it depends which one, all right? But I'm talking about the later ones, like after like Black Ops 2 and shit. You're telling me to care about that. It's like you catch on to the, oh, they're just gonna make one every year. Why should I care, right? Oh, they're gonna make another Monster Hunter game with more updated move sets, but it's story driven this time, and it has cool cutscenes. It has cutscenes when you fucking do anything. The fuck is the point of that? And on top of all of that, the gameplay isn't even fun. It's boring, fucking garbage ass shit that it was the last time. Where just, I don't fucking know. You're just moving around the monster and it's, whiffing moves on you. And like I said, I know it's beta version or it's fucking, this is low rank because we're hunting in low rank right now with the fucking standard iron weapons, right? But I really don't see this shit getting any better. it actually only gets worse in my mind because when I played Rise, all of the shit that I griped about in that game, which I haven't made a video about, but all the shit I griped about how terrible in that game was gameplay wise, it only got worse as the game got on, like progressed. As things got faster and hitboxes got bigger and whatever have you, the game just got more unenjoyable to play. And honestly, I think the biggest draw between that game and this game is that at least in Rise, you could have a lot of fun just in the lobby. The best part about Monster Hunter Rise is the fact that you had your poses and you had your gestures and the fucking English voices were terrible and at least the game was funny. You could play around in the lobby. Me and my friends all the time would go in the lobby. We would have more fun in the lobby of Monster Hunter Rise than we would have fighting literally any monster in the game, which is sad, but at least there was a draw to it. I bought the game, I played it, and the times I did have fun, which were few and far between, at least I was able to say I had fun with X, Y, and Z. I had fun doing stupid poses and spamming them. I had fun spamming the help me. I had fun spamming that shit all the time. I had fun watching my friend get hit by a stupid ass move and fucking scream because voices in Monster Hunter is funny, right? Cool. That shit was funny. It was a bad game, but it was a funny game. This shit doesn't even have that. It doesn't have any emotes or sorry, not emotes. It doesn't even have any gestures. It doesn't even have any call outs. It doesn't have any of that shit. From what I've played or what I've seen, it doesn't have any of that. There's no way to really express yourself, right? Other than through the text chat, which, need I remind you, a bunch of random fucking people in the lobby will just be spamming that shit while you're hunting monsters. I have no idea how to fucking leave the lobby. I know you can link up with players. You know what? I actually have to get to that later. But it's just not a fun game to play, and there's no funny aspects in it. The only funny thing that you can do in this game is change your fucking pitch of your voice to be low, like fucking unintelligibly low, or Alvin and the Chipmunks high. And that's like literally the only funny thing that you can do in this game, which is unfortunate. You pay $70 for a revamped moveset of whatever weapon you were playing, and also your voice can go really low, and it's funny. Haha. Shit. That's really it. And what I was talking about earlier with the whole fucking character shit. Fuck, hold on. Give me a sec. Because, like I said, I'm trying to do this shit in one take and I'm trying to go on a little train here, but I don't know. This shit is just so terrible. I just can't even. I can't even fathom how and why this was made the way it is. We're just going backwards. Now, I might sound like a bit of an old head here, but the things I liked most about the old generation Monster Hunter games, I started with 3 and then I played 4 and then obviously I played GU and G, is the micro. The micro being your interactions between the hunter and the monster. And also, last but not least, we can't forget this one. This is the most important interaction in the entire game for me, personally, was your interaction with other hunters. The reason people that played certain weapons got shit on, or were loved and lauded were because of what weapon they were playing. If someone was fucking playing a longsword and tripping everyone's bitch asses, then everyone's like, "Oh my god, longsword, go do whatever." Right? And that was an interaction between you and the other hunter. If the hammer player was at the head and they fucking slammed you and you went flying, that's an interaction between you and the other player. You could have interactions between you and the other hunters while still hunting the monster, and the interaction between you and the monster were actually pretty intricate at times. If a Raytheon in G rank that wants to tail flip twice or 3 times, you have to make that judgment call on what move you want to do. With the limited tools that you had, your move set was kind of, for the most part, unchanged from like games past. You had to make do with what you had, and that was a really interesting gameplay loop for me to play it for however knows how many hours I played fucking Monster. Over 3,000, over 4,000 easily of all the Monster Hunter games I played. And all of that old gen time that I spent is just thrown off the fucking balcony the moment I play any of these. This one, Rise and Wild specifically. Like I said, World is actually not that bad of a game. I only played like 30-ish hours of it. So I'm not going to slander that game because I don't feel like that game did anything wrong other than one thing, and it was making Monster Hunter so popular that they just keep releasing this shit over and over. Just this shit right here. We have World 3, and this is the worst one. And honestly, I really hope they stop doing this shit or people don't buy this game. It's really one of the two, because fuck, man. It's sad to see an IP just die like this. It's disheartening to me. Like I said, I'm in the works of making my own game, and I really wanted to release a precursor to why I'm even making my game, and a lot of it has to do with this shit right here, where you watch an IP slowly drift away from what it once was, and not in a good way, not in a way that you enjoyed the game for, which is different depending on which person, from person to person. What they take from Monster Hunter is different from other people's, but I feel like they chose the worst way, and that's making the gameplay shit, making the story also shit because it's never changed, and there's no in between. There's no micro. It's all just the macro of, oh, you killed this monster. Good job. Here's your fucking pat on the back. And here you get to watch this cool ass cutscene now of your hunter looking around, very confused as to what's happening. It's, oh my god, there's this huge, whatever, and then that's it. That's all you get from the game. Game literally just fucking says fuck you, gives you a middle finger, and takes your money. I'm glad I played the beta of this shit so I don't actually have to play this because I honestly wasn't going to. And I knew that one of my friends was going to make me anyways, and here we are. One of my friends made me play the beta, and these are really my honest thoughts on this shit. I really don't have anything else to say other than this shit is awful, and I'm tired of just acting like it isn't. I'm tired of acting like Rise isn't a dog shit game. I'm tired of acting like this isn't a dog shit game. Just because it's new doesn't mean it's a good game. Just because it's the newest installment in the series and that's what everyone's going to play because it's the newest one. It just tired of acting like it's good or something. Like, this is fine. Like, we should just keep going in this direction. This is awful. They should go back in the other direction. Not just make the same game over and over with a different, like I said, not even a different coat of paint, but just focus more on things that actually matter, not fucking the automatic pickup system or the fucking automatic run system while you're on your fucking chocobo or whatever the fuck it is. Not the fucking weapon specific super armor moves that completely invalidate moves of monsters. We're not talking about any of that, just please, for the love of God, these companies need to realize that they can't just make whatever. And the problem with that is people just buy it anyway, so they think they can. And I really hope that with this, they actually are able to step back and learn from this shit. But I already know people are gonna buy this shit anyways, and nothing's really gonna change. And well, that's why I'm making my own game. If they can't do it right, I'll fucking do it right. You know what I'm saying? So shit, fuck, man. That's really all I got on this shit. I just can't stand this game, dude. And obviously the previous one I really couldn't stand either. But at the very least, I had a friend that made a video on it that I was in, and all of my friend group was in it. We did have a time playing Rise, but this shit it's not even going to be played by me or my friend group. So honestly, it just goes to show you how shitty it is. All of us, by the way, have thousands and thousands of hours of Monster Hunter, but hey, who the fuck am I, right? I'm just some fucking guy talking about why he fucking hates this game and why they should probably take a step back and reevaluate what Monster Hunter actually is and what it means to a lot more people rather than just making fucking drivel, making just shit that anyone can play because, you know, oh, it worked when we did it with World, so if we just keep doing it, more people will keep playing our dog shit ass game and just get the wrong impression of how cool the game actually can be. That's all I fucking got, man.